The mysterious arrival. In a distant galaxy, there was a planet named Zephyr. It was lush and green, with tall trees that whispered secrets in the wind. The sky was a deep shade of blue, and two bright suns illuminated the land. The inhabitants of Zephyr, known as the Zethrians, were curious and friendly creatures with soft blue skin and large expressive eyes. They had heard tales about a species called humans, who were said to be both fascinating and dangerous. For many years, the Zethrians lived peacefully on their planet, exploring the mysteries of nature and sharing stories of the stars. However, the legends of humans lingered in their minds. The Zethrians had only seen humans in old recordings, where they appeared strange and unpredictable. Some said that humans could befriend anyone, while others warned of their fierce temper. Despite their fear, the Zethrians were eager to learn more. One day, as the Zethrians gathered in the central square to share stories, a bright flash lit up the sky. They looked up and gasped. A ship, unlike anything they had seen before, was descending towards their planet. It was shiny and round, with swirling colors that glimmered in the sunlight. The Zethrians felt a mix of excitement and fear. This was their chance to see a human. As the ship landed softly on the grass, the Zethrians held their breath. The hatch opened with a hiss, and a ramp extended down to the ground. From the shadows of the ship, a figure emerged. It was a human. The Zethrians stared in awe, whispering among themselves. The human was tall, wearing strange clothes that sparkled in the light. They could see the human's face, and it looked curious yet cautious. The bravest Zethrian, named Leora, stepped forward. Her heart raced as she approached the human. "Hello," she called, her voice steady but soft. The human turned to face her, eyes wide with surprise. For a moment, they just looked at each other, neither knowing what to say. Leora took a deep breath. She remembered the stories about humans being sensitive to body language. So she raised her hand slowly, palms facing up, to show she meant no harm. The human seemed to understand. They nodded and stepped closer, a smile forming on their lips. This small gesture gave Leora hope. As the human approached, the other Zethrians watched in amazement. Some were excited, while others still felt scared. They whispered warnings about humans being unpredictable. But Leora was determined. "We must learn about them," she thought. "They might not be what the legends say." "Are you lost?" Leora asked, her voice gentle. The human tilted their head, trying to understand the strange sounds. "I am here," the human replied slowly, their voice deep and warm. "I come in peace." The Zethrians felt a wave of relief wash over them. This human did not seem dangerous. The human looked around, taking in the beauty of Zephyr. "This place is beautiful," they said, smiling wider. The Zethrians smiled back, feeling a connection. Perhaps humans were not so terrifying after all. Just then, a loud noise erupted from the ship. The Zethrians jumped, startled. More humans appeared at the ship's entrance, looking confused and excited. They began to step down the ramp, chattering among themselves. Leora turned to the new arrivals, her heart pounding again. She felt the weight of many eyes watching her. "Stay calm," she whispered to herself. "Show them we are friendly." The other Zethrians gathered around, some still cautious but curious to see what would happen next. The first new human approached Leora, holding a device that glowed softly. "Hello, I'm Alex," the human said, pointing to themselves. "We mean no harm. We just want to learn about you." Leora felt her heart flutter. This was the moment she had hoped for, a chance to communicate and understand. "Leora," she replied, pointing to herself. "Welcome to Zephyr." The other Zethrians echoed her words, greeting the humans with cautious enthusiasm. Alex beamed with delight, and the tension began to dissolve. As the humans spread out, looking at the plants and animals, Leora realized this was just the beginning. There was so much to learn from each other. She noticed how the humans interacted with the environment. They were curious, taking notes and photographs of everything they saw. Meanwhile, the Zethrians watched closely, fascinated by the humans' actions. Some Zethrians began to gather fruits and flowers to share, wanting to make a good impression. Lyora joined them, her heart full of hope. Perhaps this meeting would change everything. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Lyora knew one thing for sure. This was the dawn of a new friendship. Humans might have been just a legend before, but now they stood before her, ready to learn and explore together. She could feel the excitement in the air, a mix of curiosity and possibility. This was just the start of something incredible, a chance to bridge two worlds. And so, under the glowing lights of two suns, the Zethrians and humans began to discover one another, taking their first steps towards understanding and friendship. The exchange of knowledge. As night fell on Zephyr, the sky transformed into a canvas of stars. The Zethrians gathered around a large glowing bonfire in the central square, its warmth chasing away the cool evening air. They were excited and anxious, their minds racing with questions about the humans and what this meeting could mean for their future. Lyora, sitting near the fire, glanced over at the humans, who were busy setting up their own devices. They looked focused and eager, adjusting strange instruments that beeped and flashed. The Zethrians watched in awe, their earlier fears slowly fading away. Curiosity replaced caution, and they whispered among themselves, excited about the unfolding events. Alex, the human Lyora had first spoken to, approached the fire with a friendly smile. "Can we share stories?" they asked, holding up a small device that looked like a thin rectangle. "This is a recorder. We want to learn about your history." Lyora nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, we can share our stories." She felt proud to be a part of this moment, where two different species could connect through their tales. "Let me start." Lyora stood up, her heart pounding with excitement. She spoke clearly, sharing the history of the Zethrians. She told them about the ancient tales of their ancestors, who had discovered the wonders of their planet. The Zethrians believed in harmony with nature and the importance of community. They spoke of the great tree that stood at the center of their village, a symbol of their unity and strength. As she spoke, the humans listened intently, eyes wide with interest. Alex's recorder captured every word, and the other humans began to take notes. Lyora noticed their expressions filled with admiration. It made her feel valued, and she realized how much they all wanted to learn from each other. When Lyora finished, Alex stood up to share a story of their own. "In my world," they began, "humans have a rich history too. We have fought wars, explored new lands, and made incredible inventions." The humans nodded, exchanging glances of pride and understanding. Lyora leaned in closer, eager to hear more. "Tell us about your inventions," she urged. Alex smiled, excited to explain. They described the way humans had traveled to the stars, using ships that soared through the universe. They spoke of technology that could heal wounds, devices that could communicate instantly, and machines that could create food from simple elements. The Zethrians were amazed. Their world had always relied on nature for food and healing. The thought of machines doing these things was both thrilling and frightening. Would these machines replace their connection to the land? Lyora felt a pang of concern, but reminded herself that learning from each other was essential. As the night wore on, more humans shared their stories. They spoke of bravery, compassion, and the diverse cultures of Earth. The Zethrians listened, captivated by the tales of human struggles and triumphs. Each story painted a picture of resilience that resonated with their own experiences. After a while, felt a spark of inspiration. "What if we show you how we connect with nature?" she suggested. "Our healing practices are ancient and filled with wisdom." The humans looked intrigued, and Alex nodded eagerly. "We would love to learn." The next day, they prepared to teach the humans about their traditional methods. They gathered herbs, roots, and flowers, explaining how each plant had its own unique properties. The humans watched, taking notes and asking questions. It felt like a beautiful exchange. where both groups shared their knowledge. Leora demonstrated how to create a poultice using healing herbs. The humans observed carefully, fascinated by the process. "This is called a run," she explained. "It helps with cuts and bruises. Nature provides us with everything we need if we know how to look." The humans practiced making their own poultices, laughing and enjoying the experience. In return, the humans shared their advanced medical equipment. They showed the Zethrians how to use a small device that could detect heartbeats and measure body temperature. The Zethrians were amazed. They had never seen anything like it. "This will help us understand our health better," Leora said, feeling grateful for this new knowledge. As days turned into weeks, the Zethrians and humans grew closer. They learned from one another, blending their knowledge and creating a bond that felt unbreakable. The Zethrians introduced the humans to their way of life, while the humans shared their technology and scientific discoveries. The exchange of knowledge transformed their perspectives. The Zethrians started to see that technology did not have to take away from nature. It could enhance their understanding of it. The humans, in turn, realized the importance of balance and respect for the environment. One evening, as they all gathered around the bonfire once more, Leora spoke up. "This is just the beginning," she said, looking around at her friends, both Zethrian and human. "We have so much more to learn together. We can help each other grow." The fire crackled softly, casting warm light on their faces as they nodded in agreement. Excitement filled the air, and they could sense that their journey was far from over. New stories awaited them, and the universe felt a little smaller, filled with hope and understanding. As the stars twinkled above, Leora smiled, knowing that the legendary humans were no longer just a myth. They were allies, friends, and together they would shape a future that honored both their worlds. The bond they were creating was more than a simple exchange of knowledge. It was a promise of unity and friendship that would echo across the stars. Dangerous encounter. The sun rose over Zephyr, casting a golden hue across the landscape. Leora woke up feeling optimistic about the day ahead. The humans had shared many incredible stories and new technologies, and now they were about to take their friendship to the next level. Today, they planned to explore the nearby forest, a sacred place for the Zethrians, filled with ancient trees and vibrant wildlife. Leora gathered the group, her heart fluttering with excitement. "Today, we will show you our forest," she announced. The humans looked eager and intrigued, ready for the adventure. As they walked into the forest, the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves enveloped them. Leora led the way, pointing out various plants and trees, explaining their significance. The humans marveled at the rich biodiversity, snapping pictures and taking notes. "This tree is called the Wilth," Leora explained, gesturing to a massive tree with twisting branches. "It has been here for thousands of years. It represents strength and endurance." The humans listened intently, captivated by her words. As they ventured deeper into the woods, laughter filled the air. The humans and Zethrians began to bond over their shared experiences, exchanging stories of their adventures. However, amidst the joy, an unexpected chill ran through the forest. The air grew still, and an unsettling silence fell over them. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed from the bushes nearby. The group paused, their eyes widening with unease. Leora instinctively took a step back. "What was that?" she whispered, her heart racing. Alex, ever the brave one, stepped forward. "Let's check it out," they said, trying to sound confident. The Zethrians exchanged nervous glances, unsure if it was wise to investigate. But curiosity got the better of them, and they followed Alex cautiously. As they approached the source of the noise, a massive creature emerged from the bushes. It had dark, scaly skin and piercing eyes that glinted with hunger. The beast growled, revealing sharp teeth, and the ground trembled beneath its weight. Panic surged through the group. "Back away," Leora shouted, trying to keep everyone calm. But the creature lunged forward, snarling. It was a Zephyrian predator known as a throck, feared by all who lived in the forest. Alex's heart raced, but they stood their ground. "We need to defend ourselves," they said, looking for something to use. The humans had brought some technology that could help, but the Zethrians had their own skills too. Leora quickly recalled the teachings of her elders. "We can use our knowledge of the forest to our advantage," she shouted. "Humans, stay close to us." The group formed a protective circle. Leora began to chant an ancient song that resonated with the forest, calling upon the spirits of the land. The Zethrians knew that their connection with nature was powerful and could help them in this moment. As Leora sang, the air around them shimmered with energy. The Throck hesitated, confused by the sudden change. Taking advantage of the creature's momentary distraction, Alex pulled out a small device that emitted a high-pitched sound, one that humans use to ward off threats. The noise echoed through the trees, merging with Leora's song. The Throck shook its head, trying to regain its focus, but the combination of the sound and the Zethrian chant seemed to weaken its resolve. "Keep singing, Leora," Alex urged, and the Zethrians joined her in the melody, creating a harmonious sound that echoed through the forest. The Throck roared, but the song continued to weave its magic. Gradually, the creature began to back away, its fierce demeanor softening. The combined strength of the humans and Zethrians seemed to confuse and overwhelm it. Finally, with one last growl, the Throck turned and flowed into the depths of the forest. Breathing heavily, the group looked at each other, a mix of relief and triumph washing over them. "We did it," Alex exclaimed, grinning from ear to ear. "We worked together." Leora felt a wave of pride swell within her. "This is proof of our strength together," she said. "When we combine our skills and knowledge, we can overcome anything." The humans nodded, their respect for the Zethrians deepening. They realized that while technology was powerful, the bond with nature held its own kind of strength. As they made their way back from the forest, the atmosphere was filled with laughter and chatter. The danger had brought them closer, solidifying their friendship in a way they had never anticipated. That night, around the bonfire, they shared stories of bravery and teamwork. The encounter with the Throck became a legend in the making, one that would be passed down for generations. Leora smiled, knowing that the bond between their two worlds was growing stronger. Together, they had faced a challenge and emerged victorious. In that moment, they understood that they were not just allies, they were friends united by a shared experience. They had transformed fear into strength and uncertainty into trust. As the stars twinkled above, Leora knew that their journey was only just beginning. Together, they would explore new horizons and uncover the mysteries of the universe, united in their quest for knowledge and understanding. The bond deepens. With the sun setting over Zephyr, the humans and Zethrians gathered around the bonfire, their laughter echoing through the cool evening air. The earlier encounter with the Throck had strengthened their bond, and now they felt a sense of unity that transcended their differences. As the flames danced, Leora took a moment to reflect on the day. She had witnessed not just bravery, but the power of cooperation between two species that had once been strangers. "Today was incredible," she said, looking around at her friends. "We faced danger together and came out stronger." Alex nodded, still feeling the adrenaline of their earlier encounter. "I never thought I would face a creature like that and live to tell the tale. We make a great team." The humans cheered, their spirits high. They felt like heroes after standing side by side with their new friends. As the night deepened, Leora and Alex began to share more about their cultures. The Zethrians explained the importance of the forest and how it was a living entity that provided for them. "We believe that everything in nature is connected," Leora said. "The trees, the animals, even the water. They all have stories to tell." The humans listened, fascinated. In return, they shared tales of their own planet, Earth, and the struggles they faced with pollution and loss of biodiversity. "We've learned that we need to protect our world," said Mia, one of the human engineers. "Otherwise, we risk losing everything." This exchange opened new doors of understanding between them. Lyora felt a sense of responsibility to share the Zethrians' wisdom about nature, while the humans offered innovative ideas to tackle environmental issues. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, revealing more about their beliefs and traditions. As the fire crackled, Lyora's eyes sparkled with excitement. What if we worked together to create a project? We can combine our knowledge and resources to protect both of our worlds. The humans exchanged glances, intrigued by the idea. That's brilliant, Alex exclaimed. We could develop a plan that benefits both of us. Imagine creating sustainable technologies that help restore and maintain the forests on Zephyr and even on Earth. With this newfound inspiration, the group began brainstorming ideas. Lyora sketched out plans for a community garden that would serve as a sanctuary for native plants and animals while allowing humans to contribute their technology to enhance growth. As they talked, a sense of excitement filled the air. They envisioned a collaborative effort that would not only strengthen their bond, but also promote harmony between their species and the environment. This was a project that would reflect their unity and shared goals. But as their plans took shape, an underlying concern nagged at Lyora's mind. She knew that some Zethrians were still skeptical about humans, worried about their intentions and how they might impact their world. That night, as everyone settled down, Lyora confided in her closest friends, Sarah. What if some of our people don't accept the humans? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. What if they see them as a threat? Sarah sighed, her expression thoughtful. It's a valid concern, Lyora. Change is often met with resistance. But if we show them the good that comes from this partnership, it could change their minds. We must lead by example. Lyora nodded, feeling a mix of hope and uncertainty. She understood the importance of bridging the gap between their worlds, but she also recognized the challenges that lay ahead. The next day, energized by their discussions, they set off to explore another part of the forest. This time, they visited the Valley of Echoes, a magical place where sounds traveled far and wide. As they stood at the edge of the valley, Lyora and the humans felt a sense of wonder. Let's test the echoes, Mia shouted playfully, and the group began calling out phrases and listening to the valley's responses. Laughter erupted as they took turns shouting silly words and phrases, watching the echoes return to them. In that moment, their worries faded, replaced by pure joy. Lyora realized how important it was to nurture this friendship. They were building something extraordinary, a connection that could change their worlds forever. As the day drew to a close, Lyora gathered everyone together. We've created wonderful memories, but this is just the beginning, she said, her voice filled with determination. Let's not just be friends. Let's be partners in building a better future for both our worlds. The humans cheered, their eyes sparkling with excitement. They were ready to embark on this journey, hand in hand with their Zethrian friends. Together, they would face challenges, celebrate victories, and pave the way for a new chapter in their shared history. And as the stars twinkled above them, Lyora felt a sense of peace wash over her. They were no longer strangers from different worlds. They were allies, united by a vision for a brighter future. The bond between humans and Zethrians had deepened, and together they would navigate the path ahead, embracing the unknown with open hearts and minds. The challenge ahead. The sun rose on Zephyr, casting golden rays through the thick canopy of trees. Lyora awoke feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. The plans to collaborate with the humans had been laid out, but now they needed to take action. As she prepared for the day, she wondered how the rest of the Zethrians would react to their partnership. After a quick breakfast, Lyora gathered the group. Today, we need to talk to the elders about our project, she announced. The humans looked at her, some excited and others anxious. It's essential to have their support, but I'm not sure how they will respond. Do you think they'll be open to it? Alex asked, concern etched on his face. What if they don't trust us? Lyora took a deep breath. We'll have to show them our intentions are genuine. If we can demonstrate the benefits of our collaboration, they might change their minds. The group made their way to the Elders' Council Hall, a grand structure made of ancient trees woven together. As they entered, Leora's heart raced. The council room was filled with wise Zethrians, their expressions serious and contemplative. The atmosphere was tense. Leora stepped forward, flanked by her human friends. "Elders, we come to you today with an idea that can benefit our people and the environment," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "We want to collaborate with the humans to protect our forests and share knowledge." A murmur swept through the room. Some elders exchanged skeptical glances, while others leaned forward, intrigued. Elder Thelos, the leader of the council, raised a hand for silence. "What makes you believe that these humans are worthy of our trust? Our history with outsiders is fraught with danger." Leora felt the weight of his words. "I understand your concerns, Elder Thelos, but these humans have shown great bravery and care for our world. Together, we can create something that benefits both species." She gestured to Alex, who stepped forward. "Elder Thelos," Alex said respectfully, "we come with no intention to harm. We have faced danger together, and our goal is to restore balance to nature, not disrupt it. We have learned from our mistakes on Earth, and we hope to apply that knowledge here." Elder Thelos regarded them closely. "Your words are convincing, but trust is earned, not given freely." He paused, letting his words sink in. "What proof do you have that this partnership will bring benefits?" Leora and Alex exchanged nervous glances, unsure how to convince the elders. But then Maya spoke up, her eyes shining with determination. "We could start with a small project, maybe a garden that showcases the best of both our worlds. We can demonstrate how human technology can enhance the natural growth of your plants while ensuring the health of the ecosystem." Another elder, Vera, leaned forward. "A garden could be a powerful symbol, but it must be tended to by both sides. Are your people willing to invest time and effort into this?" "Yes," Leora replied, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "We want to work side by side, learning from each other as we cultivate this garden." After a lengthy discussion, the elders finally agreed to let them proceed with a pilot project. "But know this," Elder Thelos warned, "you will be under scrutiny. Fail to uphold your promises, and you will face the consequences." Relieved but still anxious, Leora and her friends left the council hall with a renewed sense of purpose. "We did it," Alex exclaimed, a huge grin spreading across his face. "Now we just have to prove ourselves." As they walked through the forest, brainstorming ideas for the garden, a feeling of hope enveloped them. "Let's choose plants that represent both our worlds," Leora suggested. "We can plant Zethrian flora alongside Earth's vegetables and flowers." The group spent the next few days preparing for the project. They gathered supplies, scouted locations for the garden, and engaged the local Zethrians to join them in this endeavor. Slowly, they began to earn the trust of the villagers as they worked side by side, planting seeds and sharing stories. Yet, not everyone was pleased. A faction of Zethrians watched from the shadows, suspicious of the humans' motives. Their leader, a stubborn Zethrian named Reluk, voiced his opposition openly. "This is a foolish endeavor," he scoffed during a community meeting. "You invite danger by partnering with these outsiders. They will bring only ruin." Leora stepped forward, her heart racing. "We are not here to harm you. We want to learn from you and help protect this world. We can all gain from this experience." Reluk shook his head, unwilling to listen. "You speak of unity, but history shows that trust is fragile. Be wary, my people. This alliance may bring us to ruin." Leora felt the weight of his words but remained determined. "We will prove ourselves. Give us a chance." Days turned into weeks, and the garden began to thrive. Vibrant flowers blossomed alongside hardy vegetables. The community slowly began to warm up to the idea of collaboration. As they worked, laughter filled the air, and the atmosphere shifted from suspicion to curiosity. One day, while they were tending to the garden, Leora noticed Reluk watching from a distance, We need to show him that we can work together, she said to Alex. Maybe we should invite him to help with the garden, Alex suggested. He might see the benefits for himself. Taking a deep breath, Leora approached Relok, who stood with his arms crossed, still skeptical. Relok, she said softly, we'd like to invite you to join us in the garden. You could share your wisdom about Zethrian plants, and we can learn from you. He raised an eyebrow, surprise flickering in his eyes. You think I would help the humans? Why not? Leora replied, her gaze steady. This garden is for everyone, and your knowledge is invaluable. Together, we can create something beautiful. Relok hesitated, torn between his mistrust and the curiosity to see what they had built. Finally, after a long pause, he nodded slowly. Very well. I will join you in the garden. As they worked together, Leora felt a sense of triumph. Perhaps through patience and understanding, they could truly bridge the gap between their worlds. The garden became a symbol of hope, a place where humans and Zethrians could come together, sowing the seeds of trust and friendship. And as they toiled under the sun, Leora believed that they were not just cultivating plants, but nurturing a future filled with possibility and unity. Little did they know, challenges still lay ahead, waiting to test the bonds they had created. Shadows of doubt. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden light over the garden. The vibrant colors of flowers and the fresh green of vegetables painted a picture of harmony and hope. As Leora, Alex, Mia, and Relok worked together, laughter and friendly banter filled the air, creating an atmosphere of camaraderie. But deep down, Leora sensed that not everyone was convinced of their mission. Despite the garden's success, a few Zethrians remained skeptical of the humans' presence. Relok, though initially resistant, had become a valuable ally, sharing his knowledge of Zethrian plants and helping them thrive. But the whispers of dissent still lingered among the villagers. Leora knew they had to address this discontent before it turned into something more dangerous. One afternoon, as they tended to the garden, Leora gathered everyone around. We need to have an open meeting with the community, she announced. We should discuss our progress and address any concerns they have. It's time to clear the air. Relok nodded in agreement. Yes, but we must be prepared for resistance. Not everyone will welcome our collaboration, he warned, his eyes scanning the garden, knowing that shadows of doubt were still lurking. As the sun began to set, Leora set up a gathering in the village square. The Zethrians gathered. Curiosity piqued about the humans' intentions. Leora stood at the front, flanked by Alex, Mia, and Relok. The tension in the air was palpable. Thank you all for coming, Leora began, her voice steady. We have been working hard on our garden, and we want to share our experiences with you. Our goal is to learn from each other and protect our home. Murmurs spread through the crowd, and a familiar voice broke through. It was Relok's rival, a young Zethrian named Jarek, who stepped forward. What proof do you have that this alliance is beneficial? You've only been here for a short time. How can we trust you? Leora felt the weight of his words but stood her ground. We have seen improvements in the soil, and the plants are thriving. We are here to listen to your concerns and work together. Jarek scoffed. You speak of trust, yet we know little about your kind. Our history is filled with stories of betrayal from outsiders. How do we know you won't harm us? Alex stepped forward, determination in his eyes. We understand your fears. Our history is not perfect either, but we have come to learn and share our knowledge with you. We want to protect your home, not exploit it. The crowd was silent, absorbing the tension. Leora could see uncertainty on the faces of some Zethrians, while others looked intrigued. Perhaps we can organize a demonstration, she suggested, trying to regain control of the conversation. We can show you the benefits of our combined knowledge. We can improve the gardens, learn from each other, and share resources. Relok added, if we show them that our partnership works, we can quiet the doubts. After some back and forth, Jarek relented. Fine, but this better not be a waste of time. Show us what you can do. With the meeting concluded, Leora felt a mixture of relief and anxiety. They had made some progress, but the road ahead was still fraught with challenges. The next day, they set to work preparing for the demonstration, gathering the best plants and sharing techniques that blended both Zethrian and human gardening methods. As they worked together, Leora watched the interactions between the humans and Zethrians. She was heartened to see the walls of mistrust slowly starting to crumble. Relok shared stories of his childhood, while Mia and Alex listened intently, asking questions and offering their insights. The garden became a true melting pot of ideas, and Leora felt a sense of pride. However, as the demonstration approached, Jarek continued to stir discontent among some villagers. What if this is all a trick? He whispered to those who listened. What if they plan to take our land for their own? Leora overheard Jarek's words one evening while they were working late in the garden. The shadows of doubt crept back into her mind, but she refused to give in to fear. We must remain united, she told her friends. If we can just prove the benefits, the villagers will see that we mean no harm. The day of the demonstration arrived, and the garden buzzed with anticipation. Leora stood in front of a small gathering, ready to showcase the fruits of their labor. She could feel the weight of the villagers' gazes upon her, some filled with hope, while others were clouded with suspicion. As Leora began the presentation, she explained how they had combined Zethrian techniques with human knowledge. The garden thrived, showcasing plants that flourished together, side by side. This garden represents what we can achieve together, she said passionately. Imagine the possibilities if we continue to work together. She invited everyone to taste the vegetables they had grown, a mixture of human and Zethrian flavors. Slowly, one by one, the villagers began to sample the fruits of their labor. Laughter began to break out, and for a moment, the tension eased. But then, Jarek stepped forward, his voice loud and defiant. You think this is enough to convince us? This is just a show. We need more than pretty plants to trust these outsiders. Leora felt her heart sink, but she quickly regained her composure. We're not just here for a show, Jarek. We're here to create a future where both our people can thrive. Isn't that worth fighting for? Jarek scoffed, but a few villagers nodded in agreement. As Leora continued, she noticed some of the more skeptical Zethrians starting to engage with the humans, asking questions and sharing their own gardening wisdom. Just then, a group of Zethrians burst into the square, led by a fierce-looking elder. What's going on here? She demanded, eyeing the humans suspiciously. Leora stepped forward, ready to defend their intentions. We are demonstrating our garden project. We hope to show everyone that our collaboration can lead to greater prosperity. The elder crossed her arms, studying the humans closely. Collaboration or deception? How can we trust you? Leora felt the weight of her gaze, but she stood firm. We want to earn your trust. We believe in a future where both our species can work together to protect this planet. After a long moment of silence, the elder's expression softened slightly. If you truly wish to work together, then prove it. Show us that your intentions are good. With the demonstration hanging in the balance, Leora took a deep breath. Then let's invite you to join us in the garden. Work with us, side by side. Let's see what we can create together. The crowd buzzed with murmurs. It was a bold move, but perhaps it was the only way to bridge the gap between suspicion and trust. As the elder nodded slowly, Leora felt a surge of hope. They still had a long way to go, but this moment was a step forward. Little did they know, challenges loomed just beyond the horizon, ready to test their newfound unity. A new dawn. The sun rose over the horizon, bathing the village in a warm glow. Leora stood at the edge of the garden, watching as the Zethrians and humans worked side by side. The atmosphere was charged with excitement and possibility, a stark contrast to the doubts and fears that had plagued their earlier meetings. After the demonstration, the village elder had encouraged the Zethrians to participate actively in the garden project. Leora felt a sense of pride as she saw the villagers embracing the change their hands digging into the soil alongside the humans. Everyone was learning from each other, sharing techniques and knowledge that transcended their cultural differences. Over the next few weeks, the garden flourished, and so did the bonds between the two species. Relok continued to be an invaluable ally, introducing Liorid to various Zethrian plants that had unique properties. The humans, in turn, taught the Zethrians how to enhance the growth of their crops using methods from Earth. One afternoon, as they tended to the garden, Leora noticed Jarek sitting on a nearby bench, his arms crossed and his brow furrowed. The earlier hostility had faded, but he still seemed distant. Gathering her courage, Leora approached him. "Hey, Jarek," she said gently. "How are you feeling about everything?" He looked at her, his eyes reflecting uncertainty. "I see the garden growing, but I can't shake the feeling that it's all too good to be true. We've been betrayed before." Leora nodded, understanding his fears. "Trust takes time, Jarek, but look around you. We're all working hard to build something better together. It's not just about the garden, it's about our future." He sighed, glancing at the humans and Zethrians laughing together. "I want to believe you. I really do. But how do we know this will last? What happens when the next outsider comes?" Before Leora could respond, Relok joined them. "Trust is earned, Jarek. We cannot predict the future, but we can shape it. By working together, we create a stronger bond, one that can withstand challenges." Jarek looked between Leora and Relok, his expression softening. "Maybe you're right. It's just hard to shake off the past." "Everyone has a past," Leora replied. "But we can choose to create a new story, one that is filled with hope and cooperation." Days turned into weeks, and the garden became a symbol of their unity. The villagers celebrated their first harvest together, the fruits of their labor filling baskets that overflowed with vibrant colors. A festival was planned, inviting everyone to come together to celebrate their hard work. As the day of the festival arrived, the village square was adorned with colorful decorations made from flowers and plants. The aroma of delicious dishes filled the air as villagers prepared meals that combined both Zethrian and human recipes. Leora could hardly contain her excitement as she watched the preparations unfold. During the festival, Leora took to the stage to address the crowd. "Today, we celebrate not just our harvest, but our friendship," she began, her voice echoing through the square. "We have proven that by working together, we can overcome our differences and create something beautiful." Applause erupted from the crowd, a mixture of humans and Zethrians cheering in unison. Leora felt a surge of joy, realizing how far they had come. The mistrust that once clouded their relationship was beginning to lift. Just then, a familiar figure stepped forward. It was the village elder, her wise eyes scanning the crowd. "Today, we honor not only the fruits of our labor, but the courage to embrace change," she announced. "Let us forge a new path together, one where our differences are celebrated and our strengths combined." Leora smiled, feeling a sense of belonging wash over her. The elder's words resonated deeply, igniting a flame of hope within everyone present. They shared stories, laughter, and food, creating memories that would last a lifetime. As night fell, the sky transformed into a canvas of stars, twinkling brightly above the village. The festivities continued, with music and dancing echoing through the night. Leora found herself lost in the joy of the moment, surrounded by friends who had once been strangers. But beneath the celebration, Leora remained vigilant. She knew that challenges could arise at any moment, and they needed to be prepared for whatever lay ahead. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders but also dangers. Suddenly, a loud commotion broke through the festivities. Leora turned to see a group of Zethrians standing at the edge of the square, their expressions alarmed. "There's something in the sky," one shouted. The laughter faded, and an uneasy silence fell over the crowd. Everyone looked up, their gazes drawn to a dark silhouette against the stars. A ship, larger than any they had seen before, hovered ominously above the village. "Everyone, stay calm." Lyora shouted, her heart racing. "We need to find out what's happening." As the villagers scrambled for answers, Lyora felt a chill run down her spine. The peace they had fought for was threatened by an unknown force. Reluk and Jarek rushed to her side, their expressions mirroring her concern. "What do we do?" Jarek asked, fear creeping into his voice. Lyora took a deep breath, determined to protect what they had built. "We must stand together, just like we did in the garden. We'll face whatever comes our way, united as one." As the ship descended, casting a shadow over the village, Lyora prepared for the unknown. The bonds they had formed would be tested, but she knew that together they could face any challenge that awaited them. The dawn of a new era was upon them, and they would fight to protect their newfound harmony.